I'm at Northwest Honda today, which is in Blackpool. I'm taking out the Honda NC750X, which is this beauty here. Gonna stick with the same format. Let's have a look around the bike. I'll show you a couple of the things that I like, and then make sure you stay for the test ride. And as always, if you like this type of review, if you wouldn't mind giving me a subscribe and even hit the thumbs up button, it would be much appreciated. Anyway, let's have a look round. So there we have our sexy close-up. What do we think? So this is the latest bike. I think it was registered just towards the end of the year, but it's essentially a brand new bike, brand new model, and it's one of the demos here at Northwest Honda, who've kindly let me take this beauty out today. So let's just check the brakes out first. So front wheel, we've just got a single disc Nissan. Back wheel, again, we have got a single disc Nissan. And as you join me at this part, I've not actually ridden this bike, so I can't tell you how good the brakes are. So make sure you stay for the test ride, and I can find out as you find out with me. The exhaust, it's alright actually. It's kind of discreet at the bottom, I think. It's not drawing your eyes straight to the exhaust, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Kind of more drawn towards the front end. I think it's that striking blue paint. It's just where all the colour is. Gets your eyes going this way. Let's have a look at the front. It is very adventure bike in style, isn't it? But it is very road biased as well. It's not a bad looking bike. Chain drive on this one. We have got very small but ample foot pegs for your passenger, and again, not massive, but they do the job. Got some decent grab handles for your passenger as well, so they don't have to throw their arms around you. And the seat, I have sat on it and it is really comfortable, but again, we'll talk more about that on the test ride. Let's talk buttons. So the Africa Twin that I went on recently was a DCT. This is a DCT as well, a dual clutch transmission, get me words out. So there is no clutch here, you've got nothing at all. You have got your paddles, so you can do it manually if you want to. So you've got your downshift there, and then round the other side you can go up and down your gears that way if you wish, but thing is with these bikes, I don't think you need to. Automatic gear changes are quite smooth. They certainly were on the Africa Twin, so I hope it's the same on this. We haven't got a sparkling colour TFT screen. It's a nice LCD screen, no issues with it at all, but it's not touchscreen like its big brother. All of the controls, the modes and everything, they're all done via the buttons that we've got here. So we've got your indicator, your horn, we've got a mode button. This has got a couple of different rider modes. We've got high and low beam, and again, this is just for your screen over there if you're setting or changing any of the modes. And then we've got your hazard lights. On the right hand side, very similar to the Africa Twin I went on recently, because it's got the DCT, you've got a neutral, a drive, and then this one's for your manual changes. And then we've got your engine stop start there, and that is it. So it's a nice LCD screen. There's quite a lot going on there. It does have a gear indicator, albeit it's changing the gears for you, but it's quite interesting to see when it's changing gear. You've got a big old speedo, a rev meter going across, we've got a fuel gauge, we've got a clock. That's the important one. All the others for me are just extras. Some of them decent, especially the fuel one, but that's the important one. The big seller is the storage. So what we've got, where you'd normally find a fuel tank, We've got a massive storage area. It's certainly big enough for a full face helmet, and you can see that just with how far in it goes. I'm putting my arm in, it's going down past my elbow, so it's quite a deep storage space. You'd certainly get a bit of shopping in there. Yeah, it's nice. And then at the back, that's where your fuel's going in, so you just lift your back seat up. So it's something a little bit different. I think when you look at it, it looks like a nice looking bike. That seat is certainly comfortable. It's got the practicalities of your storage, so I can see why people would buy it to commute, because you don't need a rucksack on, because you can put all your bits and bobs in there. Yeah, it's a good bike. Only time will tell. We'll take it for a test ride and we'll see how good it is on the move. But so far, just off what I can see looking at it, it looks really nice. So make sure you join me for the test ride. I like it so far, so stay with me. I've just been given some information with regards to the colour scheme. So the blue bike that I'm on, which is just there, apparently it's not available in that blue anymore. So if you order a brand new one, it's a slightly different shade of blue. I'll show you, because they've got one right in the window. Don't know if you can see that because of the reflection. Let's zoom in a little bit. Northwest Honda have got quite the selection of demo bikes. They've got a monkey bike on demo. Not many places will have a 125 that you can go out on and actually experience it. So I would say if you're looking to have a little go on one of these bikes, if you're interested in one, pretty much the entire Honda lineup is here and available. The gaps are from bikes that are already out on test, even the Goldwing at the end, and I think, what's that, an NT1100. But there's everything available, like you see. So if you're interested, make sure you pop over and see Chris. I'm going to start it up and you can have a listen. Okay, so yeah, I think it's quite a nice sound on idle. It's nothing blurry, it's nothing obnoxious. Yeah, I like that. Now, my little 5'8" legs, in fact I wish my legs were 5'8", that would make me massive, wouldn't it? So I'm 5'8", my legs are a bit on the short side, but I'm as flat footing on this. So as far as seat height goes, it's not quite as tall as what you would get from one of the big adventure bikes. This is more of a road bike that they've kind of kitted it out to make it look a bit adventurous. Gotta say, the DCT on this is nice and smooth. Just setting off, it's really nice. There's no kind of jerkiness to it or anything. So let's just pick a bit of speed up. Let's try the front brake. Okay, that, I really like that actually. Would you believe there was not a lot of fork dive then? It didn't dip down much at all at the front, which is, it's quite good. That Africa Twin I was on, that was loads of fork dive. I'm just going to test the back brake. Okay, so the back brake's alright. Right, those gear changes are really nice and smooth. You hardly feel them again. It's just gone, you know, from first to fourth, and that was sweet. Really nice. Can throw it round a little bit, but one thing I have noticed, there is a little bit of wind noise. Can hear a little bit of whistling. I don't know if that's coming through on the camera. So gonna give it a little run down the motorway, because these bikes, a lot of them will be bought by people who are doing loads of miles. Yeah, a little go on the motorway there, nothing too excessive. The actual cornering on this bike is really nice. Let's just see what it's like if I pick up speed a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so what I did notice then was there was a bit of lag, so it takes about a second to decide that you need to give it a little bit, so it has a bit of thinking time to decide what gear it's going to be in. But once it actually starts moving, it goes through the gears really well. It's just that initial burst of power, I think it just kind of is a bit sluggish, and then you get all of the like go. So it just takes a second to sort itself out. Little roundabout, see, easy does it. It's just really nimble. I mean, it's quite a big imposing bike this, but when you're on it and you're moving, the weight just disappears. When you're doing slower speeds, or you're doing town centre or busy cities, you're not having to go up and down through the gears, so you're not constantly working that clutch. So it does make it a lot of sense for this type of riding. And it did change gear mid-corner. Now I don't see that as being necessarily a bad thing, because it changed gear really nice and smoothly, so it wasn't something that kind of shook me. And I know a couple of bikes with the DCT, they get a lot of negative press because of the gear changes mid-corner, and they can take you by surprise. But I think if you expect it to happen, then you're not going to be shocked by it. Look at that. There's the Scroats of Blackpool on his non-road legal bike there. Yeah, see, I'm sure when he gets run over and killed, he'll be a nice lovable rogue. Absolute scrote. Anyway, let's get back to this review. This bike is a good one to do this type of road on because it's comfortable. The traffic round here can be notoriously bad, and I don't have to mess about with my gears because it is a rev and go. It's the DCT, and yeah, there's just not a lot to whinge and complain about with it. But it's just so easy. I'm just a real big fan of how light and nimble this bike is on the move. I mean, I would say this is a lot more comfortable than any sports bike I've ever been on in my life. The seat is a lot more comfortable. You can throw it around, and it's got a decent amount of power. It's not something that's gonna take your breath away. It's not gonna rip the skin off a rice pudding. If you're doing a long tour and you're not doing races, you're just doing a nice tour, then this bike is going to be perfect for it because it's just really easy to ride. Now I can see how people could get bored of it if you were getting one of these for the thrill factor, to put a smile on your face, because it's not that type of bike. It's not a bike that you're going to go and win races, or you're going to be, you know, giving it some all the time. So I can see how you could get bored of it if that's what you were buying a bike for. But if you are buying a bike to do long journeys, whether that be to work or to go and tour somewhere, I think you'd be hard pressed to find something as good as this in this price point. I mean, this comes in at about 8,600 there or thereabouts for a brand spanking new bike. So it is expensive, given there are cheaper bikes out there, of course there are, but it's a Honda. You're getting the Honda reliability, aren't you? So kind of justifies the extra couple of pounds. There's little to complain about with this bike. There's not a lot to like make you tingle in your gentleman sausage. You know, you're not going to get all excited and giddy, but for a bike to go touring on, for someone like myself who's getting a bit older, it's just a lovely place to plant your backside on, because it's dead easy to ride, it's comfortable. You're gonna get there. You're gonna be laughing and giggling like a little girl when you get there. I would say probably not, for a practical point of view. Certainly with what's in there, I think this is a really, really good option. So I'm going to take this bike back now to Honda. I've got things to do, people to see. Can't be out playing all day on motorbikes as much as I'd love to. So I'm going to catch you all on the next one. Make sure you come back, hit that subscribe button. If you don't, then I know where you live and I'll hunt you down. Alright, thanks guys, see you later. Bye for now.